What's up, sports fans? Check this thing out. All right, pretty cool, huh? This is my first electric tricycle. I've had a lot of offers in the past. I declined them. I said, no, it's not for me. E-MTB review. But when I heard the description of this guy, I said, man, I gotta try that out. So what we have here is an electric tricycle with two motors, all-wheel drive, and it has a differential on the rear. It has two batteries. It is full suspension, and it has all the bells and whistles. And it's not cheap. It retails for $3,300. Maybe you never learned to ride a two-wheel bicycle or never got comfortable with it. Maybe you're getting up in age and you just really want some exercise outdoors. You got some money. You just want some luxury, some stability. This, I think, is gonna deliver. So it's pretty impressive. All-wheel drive, as I said, the top speed is 25 miles an hour. It's got a throttle trigger style and it's pedal assist with a very sensitive torque sensor. So tricycles, it's not an obvious choice for cyclists because you're a little bit higher off the ground. You can tip over, you can't lean, and let me tell you, when I first got on it, my first day, I got kind of dizzy. I could not steer the thing. So there is a transition. If you are a lifelong cyclist like myself, there is a transition and you got to give yourself time. And what's happening is on a normal two-wheel bicycle, when you turn right, you actually lean left and then the bike will fall to the right, the handlebar, and it will turn to the right. So it's very counterintuitive, but it's actually what happens in physics. And I never really believed it until I got on this one. And every time I did the counter, the bike was not balanced. So you just got to steer it like a car, or a four-wheeled vehicle, like an ATV. So after that, I gave it some time. I just tooled around here in the backyard here, and I got used to it. What this thing does, that's not in the spec sheet, is it's very stable. So normally a tricycle, bicycle height, and then you just have three wheels. But they said, because of the natural non-leaning ability, they lowered it. They made it closer to a recumbent style bike to give it a lower center of gravity and to make it more stable. Because this thing can go fast. It can go 25 miles an hour, like I said. So other specs of it is it has 1500 watts, two motors, 750 and 750. So 750 driving the two rear wheels, but it has a differential. And that's why it can make all these tight turns, be really stable. It also has two batteries for 1440 watt hours of power. And they say the range is 55 miles to 130 miles. I don't know if it's going to hit 130 miles, but certainly 55 would be no problem with these two batteries. Full suspension as well. It's got a pretty nice front suspension. It's got preload, it's got damping adjustment, and then it has two huge coil spring shocks on the rear. This thing is like an automotive chassis. If you're gonna build like a go-kart, an ATV, this thing is built. And so it's heavy. I think it's like 130 pounds. What it can carry is 550 pounds. So if you're a big, tall human being, you don't have to worry, football player, you don't have to worry. You got a big supportive seat. And this thing is not gonna bend under any load. And it's like really stable. So very cool. It has a backrest. I didn't use it because I'm more bicycle style. But man, this thing is so well built and it's adjustable too. And then I kind of understood the need for the backrest because when I was pedaling hard, since you're more recumbent style, you kind of want to push back against something. So there's that too. But this thing is made for comfort, and it even has your cargo area, soft touch material, big bin here for your shopping or for your toys and snacks. Ooh, I could use it for my drones and RC cars is when I go to the track. So also has other cool things. It has these mirrors right here, and then adjustable of course, and it has handbrakes. And handbrakes, how handbrakes work, you know, when you brake, look at those lights. You have a little lock here, and it just stays on. And super cool because unlike a bicycle, you don't lay this on the ground. It just sits, and if there's any kind of incline, it's going to roll around. To release it, just press it right there. 7-speed Shimano, pretty darn cool. Has a very nice display here. Sometimes I wish it was a little higher. Not super bright. And then nice signal lights. Think of my parents. My mom never learned how to ride a bicycle, a two-wheel bicycle. And oh man, maybe I can ride with her. My dad getting up in age, you know, maybe need a little exercise. But all of our neighbors, this is kind of like a lot of original owners in my neighborhood. And whenever I cruise around in a cruiser or an adult-style bicycle, this speaks to them. So even though it's not for you, it's probably for your parents, you know, or for your neighbors. Let them get around. Getting around is freedom, even for senior citizens. So pretty cool, right? So let me take you out for a ride. I did a lot of riding, hills, off-road, sand, and then come back to me and I'll give you some pros and cons of this thing. All right, on to the test drive. We start with a big field, bumpy field, and check the handling of this thing. And I would recommend everyone to do this first, just like a big open parking lot on your car. You know, see what you're comfortable with. See what the modes do. And the first mode is rear wheel drive, 5 miles an hour. So for just putting around is good. Second mode is all-wheel drive, and then third mode is all-wheel drive, high speed, and boom, it gets up pretty good. It's got a lot of power, but it doesn't deliver to you all at once. You know, understanding the audience, they don't want to peel out. You know, they want a smooth transition from a stop to moving. So it's good at that. And now I do some really steep hills. Check the torque of this thing. It's about a 12% grade, and I'm ready to help pedal if needed, but not really needed because I'm climbing at about 10 miles an hour and it's not slowing down. So it's really able to maintain that. I help out a little bit here, and pretty nice. And now I go crazy and just go on a very steep downhill fire road. The brakes are so easy to control. No skidding really. Shocks are really able to handle it, but there's a big rut on the left there, and it's really tilting the bike to the left. And when the bike tilts to the left, it's hard to steer it. So something to watch out for. I'm struggling here, but all came out okay. And then out here on the fire road, really low speed crawling, so to speak, just because it has a lot of torque, which is cool. A lot of e-bikes, you have to be going at hills at full speed, otherwise they won't make it up. But this thing with the two motors can just kind of crawl up. So here, good brakes too, so I'm able to go downhill, no problem. Lights are flashing because I'm holding brake, and then I release it, put it on full gas, and it's able to climb. Really cool. And the throttle is a grip throttle, but it also has a trigger, so it's a 2-in-1, so to speak. So all right, let me start with the cons. Really pretty minor, but except for one big one. The first one is the price. $3,300 is a lot of money. I mean, this is kind of like a Cadillac limousine, so that's to be expected, but man, that's a good chunk of change. Another con I would say is the switchboard right here is I wish they made the labels clearer. Every time I had to press something, I'd look at it. You know, it's like etching on a gray rubber. It needs to be painted. It needs to be visible what these figures are. Nice little horn, by the way. And you got a nice light. Let's see if I can turn on the light. Another weakness I would say is the mirrors are, I could see mostly myself. It just needed to be out here where the handlebar is more outside. And I think what happened is this could have been mounted right here by the brake lever, but the shifter on the right side is in the way. But really, this is a bicycle, so you only need a mirror on the left side. You don't need it on the right side because, that's for motorcycles. You're not splitting lanes. You're not in the middle of the lane. You're always on the right side when you're in a bicycle or a tricycle. But let's get to the pro side. The pros are definitely numerous. I'll start just from the front. The beautiful light system, nice tires, which are not mountain bike, but they have a nice aggressive tread on them. You can go on sand, you can go on dirt, and then brake levers are very nice, especially with their handbrake option here. Signal lights as well, I would say, are commendable. So all the details are pretty darn nice. This is a nice fork. Nice fork right here with damping control and a preload control. The handlebar is very adjustable. And then the chassis is solid. Seating is solid. Really, they put the thought in. The dual batteries are cool. 2 motors. It has so much torque, and I really tried to demonstrate that for you guys by climbing all these hills. And a lot of these hills, I would start from a dead stop, and it had, distributed the load among the 2 motors, distributed the heat among 2 motors, so more heat dissipation, the battery as well. So pretty darn cool, right? And then the final strength, I would say, is the ride quality. At the end of the day, you're a senior citizen or you're just not comfortable on 2 wheels. You want something that's stable, that's going to keep you safe. And really, after just an hour of riding this, I was going 60 miles an hour. I go, let's go. It's time to give me 25 miles an hour. I'm figuring out how to ride this thing. Kind of like the tricycle racing ones where you lean into the turn and carve it. It was so stable. You're low to the ground. They thought of the important aspects of being on a trike, which is make it stable because they're inherently unstable. So make it stable by giving it some weight, putting the rider low, putting some suspension, a differential, so you're not torquing the rear and making the motor push the bike. It's putting more power on the outside wheel. So a very stable bike, very comfortable ride. And it's just kind of luxurious in a tricycle bicycle kind of way. So pretty darn cool. Thanks a ton, everybody.